Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathy and I have just had a word, and I think it's a word that everyone needs to hear right now, because I feel like there's a lot of us going through this transition of just maybe drawing closer to God or trying to get to know God, and we're maybe starting our spiritual journey with him, and we're just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't feel like good enough. I don't feel worthy enough. I feel rejected. I feel like I don't belong. And I just want you to know God has put in my heart to share the story of Hagar. Hagar was the Egyptian servant. I believe she was Egyptian. Yeah, for Abraham and Sarah. And God had promised Abraham and Sarah a child, right? And we all know, I mean, if you know the story, like, she was very old when God did finally, old in her terms. I think she was in her 80s or something like that. But nevertheless, God did promise her a baby. However, before God had given them Isaac, she told Abraham that he could have a child with his servant Hagar. Yes, she told her husband to go have sexual relations with this servant and to have a baby, and they did. So Ismail was born, and so he was about 12, I think, when Isaac was finally born, and he was doing something where Sarah did not appreciate. She did not like. I think he was teasing him, making fun of him, something like that, which we probably all know, a 12-year-old, right? Or we have siblings in that age gap. And so she didn't like it, and she literally commanded him to get rid of, Abraham to get rid of Hagar and the son. And of course, Abraham was upset, like, that's my child as well. But God actually told him to listen to Sarah, listen to your wife, and do as she says. And so I believe it was like the very next day, you can find this in Genesis 21, by the way, where he packs up like water, food. He got up early to get food ready and water ready for their trip, and they ended up in, I believe, the desert Beersheba. Yeah, Beersheba. And so she was, she was carrying him along, and they probably got hard because they were getting hungry, they were getting thirsty, and she put him down and was crying out to the Lord and just saying, I don't want him to die, I don't want him to die. And an angel of God came and was like, why are you crying? God heard your son's cries, and he will make a great nation out of his descendants. God promised a nation from him. And so he also blessed them with a well. They were able to get water, and they went on their way. And then she arranged a marriage for him with an Egyptian woman. And so even as a child out of wedlock, a bastard child, they would say, God still saw him, still heard his cries, and still blessed him, still promised him a nation. And you can do the research, and the descendants of Ismail is a great nation, absolutely. And so we have to remember that God isn't picky. He doesn't choose as far as like, oh, you have to be from a certain family, or you have to grow up in a certain way, or you have to be a Jewish descendant, or whatever it is. God will literally help anyone who calls out to him. Okay, if you surrender it to him, you give it to him, he absolutely will be there and provide for you. And for me, example, I am definitely rejected in my culture. I am a firstborn Christian. I came from Buddhism, and I was definitely rejected. Like, my family doesn't, I don't want to say not accept my faith, but they just don't care for it. They don't want to practice they don't want to do what I believe, like, as far as with my kids, raise them how I raise them. So there is that rejection, and I have to just stay focused on Jesus and remember that he's providing the way. He is going to take care of me in my hardest seasons, and I am a living testimony of God just transforming me and using me and pulling me out of darkness. I struggled with Jezebel spirits, Leviathan spirits. I struggled with an unhealthy eating habits, ADHD, we all have our thing, and God never left me. God never rejected me. He wasn't like, you're too filthy for me, or you're not even of one of my descendants, or whatever. Sorry, my kids are a little too loud, so if I keep pausing, that's why. But Regardless, I just want to get this message out there because I do feel called to do it, and I want to make sure I'm always obedient. And I know that so many of us are going through this season of feeling that rejection, and God wants you to know you are not overlooked. You are not, you're not. He hasn't closed his ears to you. He's seeing you. Sometimes it feels like if God's quiet, he's just watching what you're doing. He's testing you because we have to be refined. He wants to, if you want to be used by God, you have to prune some things. Trust me, God has been pruning me for a while now. And I know a breakthrough is coming for me somewhere, somehow. And I've had many breakthroughs, in the past. And before those breakthroughs, God does somehow pull me in, like prune me. I had to fast some things, or fast in general. And so if that's you right now too, like, fasting is so good to connect with God and to make sure that you hear from him, and you're not like rejected, because that's the enemy lying to you. He's just putting thoughts in your head. And if you think, why is God allowing this? Because God needs you to build that strength up. God needs you to rely on him. He needs you to surrender everything to him, so that when you give it to him, he will move mountains for you. He will open doors. He will literally make things happen that you could never do on your own with your own might. There are things that we literally just can't do. We have to, everything you should surrender to God. But when you've been struggling to get through something, you're like, I can't, like, why is this not working for me? I can't get that job, or I can't make connections, or my social media is being like stagnant, whatever it is. Like, God has doors closed for a reason, and he needs you to be refined before he can let you walk across that door. And so that rejection, you might be feeling rejection because God needs to pull you out. He needs you to be set apart. He needs you to pull out of the world. Stop worrying about the world, what the world says about you, what the world thinks of you. Who cares? Like, we have to worry about what God says about us, and his opinion, what he says, not even opinion, it's truth. His truth, what he says about you is all that matters, and you can absolutely find that in the word as well. So please remember that you are not overlooked. You are not unseen. You are absolutely loved. You are going through a season where you're going to be refined, and you're going to come out stronger than ever. And I'm declaring that. I'm decreeing that over your life. And I know you will break strongholds. You will be a generational curse breaker. You will break curses upon your life, and you'll be used in a mighty, mighty way, and it will glorify God. And he's going to bless you abundantly. And as long as we stay obedient and we serve the one true living King, I'm telling y'all, he will move things for you in the spiritual realm that you can't even fathom or do yourself, right? And so just hang in there. I am believing for that he's going to pull you out of this darkness, this season, a stronger, a pure, a refined, golden, holy man or women. I truly believe that, and I can't wait to see what he's doing with all of us. So leave a comment below if that's you right now. Like, put fire, because you're going through the fire, you're going through the ringer, or share what breakthrough you just had, because and see if you just share if you went through that season too of rejection, or you're being set apart and people are like judging you, laughing at you, like overlooking you, and they will. I've definitely been there. I like I said, rejected from my family, my friends. Like, I'm a rare breed in my group of friends where I'm on fire for Jesus, and my family's not Christian, like I said, so people look at me funny. People think I'm a little cuckoo. But that's okay, because they're uncomfortable with the truth. That's all it is. And God is going to show you those wonders and work miracles in your life, and he's going to show you what you're capable of, and people aren't going to like that. They're not going to like that because, you're different. You're walking out of the norm, which is perfectly fine. Be abnormal, do the things God calls you to do, and do it in faith, do it in confidence. And faith is confidence, right? Confidence and faith. Faith is believing for what faith is a substance of things that we hope for, and the evidence of things not seen. So we have to, when we are walking with God, we have to have faith, because we don't need to know everything. We don't need to know the future. We don't need to worry about what's going to happen next, because we just have to have faith and walk in it and trust that God will take care of us, and he will. So I pray that this blessed somebody. I pray that this message was for somebody to hear, receive, and take it back to God always, and just meditate. Like, just meditate on the word. Like, go find scriptures to help you with this season. Like, read the story of Hagar. It's very it's just inspiring to know that, like, God helped her even though she was a servant and a rejected from the family. So, but always take it back to God and see what he's trying to tell you in this season. Just listen to the small voice. So I love you guys. God bless you all. Jesus loves you so much more. I'll see you in the next video.